All right, we hot, we on. All right, man, we're gonna get started taking a look at this right here about the Nolan Wells situation in Mississippi. Uh, there's been some new evidence that come out. Definitely changed the way that you might look at this situation with the new evidence coming out. So I'm gonna let this about 3 minute video play first. Then I'm gonna give my uh, 2 cents, my opinion on the situation and some of my commentary on the situation, and we're gonna go from there. But without further ado, let's get it started on this here.
With the new evidence presented today, these three white boys should be arrested by end of day.
So when I received the phone call from Warren, he's like, but no, he didn't come back with us.
Well, how were you able to get the phone?
So we tracked it, and my friend Tashima went and picked it up.
It wasn't like they said we got his phone, they tracked it.
If you call someone's mom to tell them that their son is missing while having that missing son's phone in your back pocket, and you don't tell her that you have his phone, that's grounds for an arrest.
Dead giveaway. Yep. Hell yeah.
The voice heard on that viral video is Nolan's voice saying, "Give me back my friggin' phone."
And then this video of this, you can hear an argument going where Nolan is saying, "Give me my freaking phone."
And he was probably saying, "Give me back my fucking phone." You know what I mean? We being clean because it's Good Morning America, but you know what I'm saying? When you hot, you mad, and somebody playing with you, yeah, he wasn't polite with it. At least we know that about the brother. But let him keep going.
And so then his phone ends up missing.
Don't make no sense.
We also have confirmation that Nolan's Snapchat was deleted.
When we finally got his phone, me and my sister went through the phone. We went in his Snapchat. He had 2 accounts, absolutely nothing. It wasn't even 24 hours, which is how long.
So he gonna go on a trip with his phone, with his Snapchat, and not take no pictures of him, his other friends, the boat, the dock, nothing.
And Snapchat. And I was just like, that can't be. Like, I've seen Nolan whenever he snaps, like when he goes and he's having fun, like he does videos, like there was absolutely nothing, no saved videos. And even my sister was like, yeah, that's suspicious.
And we also now have confirmation that Jack was hiding Nolan's car keys in his house.
I'm Nolan's father. I'm here to get his keys so I can get his car. He walks off, 2 or 3 minutes, come back. I can't find the keys. One of the guys...
See, real quick, I would have had to whip one of them boys' ass. You know what I'm saying? If my son he missing and you got his keys and you playing, talking about you don't know where they at, and then we find them on you. If it ain't nobody holding me back, like the police there already, he'd have had his ass whooped already. And at least his ass would have been, an ass whooping would have already been there if it was my son.
The house with us, he was on the phone with a girl.
Technical difficulties over here. I have to get that right. Like the video. Come on, go back.
I can't find the keys. One of the guys that was in the house with us, he was on the phone with a girl. Guy's Xbox in the house because apparently she was there with him earlier. So he goes back up to the door by himself, and 5 minutes later, the keys come out. So now
all of a sudden you done came up with the key.
Oh, and it doesn't stop there. We also have witnesses that say the boat was at the judge's house in the middle of the night getting cleaned, and the family of these 3 boys were out eating the night after Nolan went missing and the day after Nolan went missing.
That's where it turned right there. I'm getting
check it
that.
out if you want more deep. Nolan went missing. Make sure you check it out if you want more deep.
All right, it's gonna act up on me, but that's enough to wrap up this video for me. That's enough evidence for me to wrap this up. Listen, the the boy who they found the phone on should already be arrested, right? You got this man property, he missing. You didn't reach out to the parents or the police department and say we found his phone. Nothing. They had to track the phone, didn't find you. Suspicious. He should be arrested. It should be nothing below that. And any of the other boys connected and the families should be brought in and at least detained and questioned. Because all of a sudden they getting together as a family. The boat was cleaned right after they got back, which might not stand out because they was on a trip, but the fact that all the families was together having dinner or figuring out how they was gonna cover situation up or whatever, definitely needs to be looked into. And I was one of them people at the beginning that was like, you know what, maybe this was a teenage fight, a teenage altercation. We don't always need to jump to the racial aspect, but it is Mississippi, okay? And then when you add the fact that these boys, the white boys, are connected with pillars of the community like judges and things like that, and they were all together the night of and the day after, definitely smells like a conspiracy, a cover up to, I don't know how it started, who started the fight or whatever, but they definitely are attempting to cover up what happened to this boy. And I'm glad that there was an independent autopsy done, reportedly paid for by Colin Kaepernick. So peace to that, brother. You know what I mean? And so we always have to do our own independent investigation. And let me speak about this, as far as, being the only black there and racism. Racism goes deeper than just white people and black people. It's more like tribalism, goes back thousands of years, right? And so I'm always weary of that. I've been in situations where I was outnumbered and it might have been a bunch of whites or a bunch of Mexicans. Tribalism just is something that I don't care what laws you pass, people are going to behave in a tribal way either when they outnumber you or whatever, right? You need to have your radar up when you're the only one of any race. I don't care if it's white and you're the only black. I don't care if you black and it's a bunch of Chinese around you. I don't care if you white with surrounded by a bunch of Mexicans. Normally, everything is all good, but something happens when a group of people is around partying, hanging, drinking, and you the only black, or you the only white, or you the only Mexican, right? We don't want to think like that. We shouldn't think like that, but I don't care how many laws you pass. People at their core are tribal, you know what I'm saying, in this way. Racism will always exist. Tribalism will always exist. And it shows its ugly head in ways like this. Maybe he got into a fight with one of the boys, then the other boys came to the aid of their other compadre, right? And they think less of him than they do the other of their friends because he sticks out. He's the only black, so they gang up on him, right? I was out one time, right, and just kind of ended up in a mostly Hispanic neighborhood, trying to talk to this girl, and my radar had to go up and realize, hey man, it's just me at this party. It's one other white boy here. It's like 19 or 20 Hispanics. I felt like homeboy from Training Day when he went into that house, right? And so, good, bad, or ugly, you know what I'm saying? When you outnumbered, and it's not that many people look like you need to think defense and really find an exit, right? It probably was a bad idea in hindsight to go out and with these guys. I don't know if he got along with all the guys, but obviously there was trouble. Once they got out into the water, out onto the boats and shit. God bless him. God bless his family, and I hope they get to the bottom of this, to the truth of this, and don't let the authorities in Mississippi or the authorities in whatever town they're from try to cover this up. So, we need to stay on this story. You know what I'm saying? And keep an eye on it. so that, you know, down the line we don't have more crimes, victim crimes like this happen to where we blindsided by it. You know what I mean? And just I would tell my sons, man, if you the only one, you know, usually roll deep whenever, you know, back in the day, you know, I was stationed overseas and there was times I went out to clubs in countries that I wasn't from. We rolled deep, man. It was like 4, 5 at least before we went out to a nightclub that where it might be only I was stationed in Italy, so it might be a bunch of Italian men, and all of a sudden you in the club talking to they women. It ain't gonna go good if you by yourself. You know what I mean? So you got to roll with people that look like you. That's just the way it is. That's just smart, you know, common sense, rather than being blindsided thinking, you know, oh no, this is 2026 and we don't need to watch out for stuff like that. Racism doesn't exist anymore. Racism has nothing to do with politeness or kindness. Racism goes back thousands of years. It's tribal, and it comes out. Normally, a lot of us have had friends where, you know, they was real polite as long as it's one-on-one, but then they get around a bunch of other whites or a bunch of other Hispanics, and all of a sudden they acting funny because they got a bunch. They outnumber you now. It's just gotta watch it. I'm not calling anybody. I'm not saying any race is evil. I'm just saying this is built into our fabric, and we need to watch out for this type of shit. This obviously looks like something that needs to be investigated a lot higher than locally, and say, man, we're gonna stay on top of this. If you got something to say or something to comment on, put it in the comments, and we can have the discussion, man. Other than that, y'all be safe out there.